Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is Overwatch Friday. Usually I talk about a topic within the gaming community at length with some Overwatch footage in the background because hey, I play Overwatch for fun and I want to use that footage in some way while doing the other reviews that I focus on. Now, this week is going to be a little bit shorter and I'm going to be focusing on more of a channel update more than anything else, mostly because next week is a little bit crazy. But I got a giveaway to take care of from last week, and the winner of that giveaway is on the screen right about now. I thank everybody for participating, and the person who did win, you'll find my Steam information in the description below. Add me. Well, everyone should add me on Steam, mostly because, hey, it makes it easier for me. But hey, add me on Steam, and I will get the game to you as soon as I can. Also, this is a little weird glitch that I found in Overwatch. The fact that Winston's dead and his lightning gun was going off. It's a little bit strange. I've never seen that before. Figured I'd add it into the footage here. As for the giveaway for this week, I'm going to give away a copy of Dishonored, a nice little stealth game because I felt like it was appropriate considering that I'm reviewing Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, and both of them have good stealth elements within them. How do you enter? Well, first you got to be subscribed to the channel, of course, and second, you'll have to answer the following question. What game have you been playing lately? Now, you may think that's a simple answer or a simple question and it's only designed to get you guys involved, but it really does help me out to understand exactly what you guys are looking for in terms of coverage. If everyone responds with like a Japanese game, for example, it gives me an idea of exactly what you're expecting from the channel, so I know exactly what to focus on. Again, I have that partnership with PlayAsia, so thus you're probably going to see a little bit more Japanese content while I try to get this channel up and running, if I'm able to get it up and running by the end of it. But hey, that gives me information to work off of. So again, leave your comment in the comment section below for the answer to that question, and you'll be entered into the contest. So when I say next week is going to be chaotic, the next couple days and next week are going to be chaotic because there's so many games that are coming out that I had planned on taking a look at. First of all, I had gotten a code for Final Station a while ago in terms of preview, but I don't do previews on the channel. There's so many games coming out nowadays that it's really hard for me to sit down and preview a game when I could be reviewing a game otherwise. But the Final Station comes out next week, and I do have a review code for it, so I do feel obligated to take a look. It is an interesting case with, okay, yes, it's zombies on a train. Yes, I know, but the thing is that it does seem a little bit different from the games that I've looked at before. I do have an interest because it's Tiny Build. I do see a lot of good things come out of Tiny Build, even if they have some problems with it, so I do want to take a look. As those people who have seen me on Steam, I am playing Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I realize that once in a while I do need to cover AAA titles, maybe once a month, in order to get more people into the channel. With that said, I'm not going to rush it. I'm about, I want to say 10 hours in. Let me take a look here. I'm 8 hours in at this point, so I am taking it slow and steady, and I want to make sure that I give you guys the good coverage. I am trying to focus on getting that done by Monday, but considering that there's no embargo on it, the game is already out and reviews are already out, I am going to take my time and get you guys quality coverage more than anything else. I don't want to rush it, and I don't want to give you guys a bad opinion and make a mistake. Then there's Livelock, which is a co-op top-down shooter that was going to come out earlier in the month and I was going to review it then. Then the game got delayed and it was unsure when it was going to come out. Well, now they've announced the date as August 30th, of course, right in the middle of all this other chaos. So, unfortunately, that means I got to try to get it done this weekend as well. I may not hit the embargo on that, but I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to rush it. I probably am going to do a critical eye on that more than anything else and not a full review, but we'll see. Then, of course, God Eater 2 Rage Burst comes out next week, and I did request a review copy of that. Despite all the chaos during this week, it is a game that seems to be up my channel's alley. Lately, I've been focusing on Japanese games, and I think there's a reason for that, because I don't think there's a lot of good coverage from other YouTube channels on those games. I'm noticing things like Conception 2 getting reasonable views. Galgun didn't do as well as I thought it would, but it is getting some reasonable views. And of course, a lot of the bigger games on the channel that I've reviewed, The Witch and the Hundred Knight, Knights of Azure, yeah, of course they're Japanese games. So of course I do want to cover this one as well. And then there's the game I have the partnership with Play Asia on, Hatsune Miku Project Diva X. I will get the pronunciation right when I actually do the video. I apologize. I know I pronounce things horribly at times. But that game comes out on, you guessed it, the 30th of next week. I am planning on getting the game on the 30th. I think that's what happens with the Play Asia sort of, partnership and things like that. So you'll probably see content from me later in the week, if not that next Monday. But it is another game that's coming out in this sort of chaotic week of just game after game after game releasing. To say the next week is going to be chaotic is an understatement. Again, I wanted to get a Patreon video done because I need to get that going if I want to continue doing this, but with so many games coming out, I have to push it back at this point. I'm targeting around the middle of September for it at this point. Now, with all these games, that means I'm going to be playing games pretty much nonstop Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then trying to get the scripts together that Saturday, Sunday, start editing the footage and things like that, and hopefully get 2, 3, 4 videos done for next week. That is a lot for me to do, but I am going to do my best without rushing it. Again, there will be probably games that I push back in terms of the coverage. Maybe things like Deus Ex in order to hit those coverage goals for the embargoes and things like that. But hey, I just want to make sure you guys know that I am working my butt off in terms of trying to get you guys content. I am always working my butt off, but even more this next week because there's just so much coming out. This last week, I did things like Hard West because of the fact that there was sort of a void. There wasn't really a lot of big games besides Deus Ex coming out this week. And the thing is that Deus Ex is a big game. It wasn't one that I was able to get a review copy for. So therefore, I'm going to have to do the coverage a little bit more slowly, but a little bit more with detail. And coming up in the next month, I am going to try to cover things like Recore, the Mega Man influenced game, or at least they keep on using Mega Man comparisons. And if you use a Mega Man comparison, I'm going to be on your game. Yes, I know I didn't cover Mighty Number 9. You could sort of see where that game was going, though. Games like Steins Gate, games like Jotun Valhalla Edition. There are a bunch of games that I do want to cover during that month. And of course, I got to make sure that I get that Patreon video done so that I can continue to do this and give you guys the coverage that you deserve. As to my stress levels, you could probably hear it in my voice in terms of a panicked mode, and to an extent that's correct. I am stressed. I am stressed because I want this to work. I love what I do in terms of the coverage. It's not just playing video games. Obviously, I put a lot of analysis into the games that I play, but it's something that I enjoy because it's something that I can control. I don't have to, give an opinion that, is influenced by anybody else in terms of coverage. I don't have to, play this political game like I had to do with software engineering. I can do what I want to do, but obviously that has to work financially if I'm going to do this full time going forward. A big part of that will be the Patreon video, and I keep on putting it off mostly because of what has happened around the channel. The fact is, this next week I wanted to do it. Well, guess what? There's so many games coming out that I wanted to cover that it's just not the right time. The Swimmer's Ear obviously really screwed up a bunch of my plans. I wanted to cover a bunch of games that week, and on top of that, actually get the Patreon video done. But with the inability to hear, that made things a little bit more difficult. So the Patreon is going to be what, sort of saves or, breaks this channel. So I have to make sure that video convinces people that, yeah, you should put $2 in every month for a year. Yes, you may not get an indie game by the end of the year that you could have bought with that money, but with all the coverage that I do, you would be able to find games that you really want and not have to spend money on a game that you really wouldn't like in the first place. Yes, I know there are Steam refunds and things like that, but there's also the time factor that plays into it. I do thank all the patrons that have been there already. That really helps out in terms of just little cost at this point, but I have to keep it going, and I have to make it so that this is a sustainable business. Alright, a short video this week for Overwatch Friday so I can get back to the actual review coverage that I planned on for next week. I will see you all later, and as always, keep on gaming.